Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
the Guru, back again for UFC 317. We've got the vacant lightweight championship up for grabs. Ilia, the Matador Topuria, taking on Charles Oliveira, the most prolific finisher in UFC history. And we've got the flyweight championship up for grabs. Alexandre Pantoja defending his championship against Kai Kara France. We've got a bunch of other banger fights on here, including Brandon Royval and Josh Van, a title contender eliminator. But before we can get into that, we have a very special guest in the building. You may know him from driving around in his Lambo. You may know him from cashing bets. You may know him from stacking chips at the World Series of Poker. Make sure you're checking him out over on his Discord, Narco Cop MMA in the house, Lambo Plays Podcast. My friend, thank you so much for joining us once again. How are you?
Man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the great intro. Yeah, man, I'm pumped for this card, dude. Like, this is violence personified. If we don't get fucking violence on this card, I don't think there's going to be a single card that's going to have violence then, because we've seen a shit ton of decisions. And the matchmakers seem to have thought, like, let's put all the violent fights on one fucking card, because that's what it seems like here. But yeah, man, this is probably one of my favorite cards all time, to be honest. Like, as far as a violent perspective, this fucking card just up and down. Incredible fight card. Yeah, there is some snoozers, but man, there's some electric fights here.
I absolutely can't wait, man.
Listen, cheers to the violence, right, boys? If we got it. I know you just got back from the gym, Narco, so I don't know that you're trying to get into putting on some calories after taking some off, but
yeah, no drinks today, but tomorrow's show for sure. Lambo Plays Podcast, we're gonna have some drinks tomorrow.
We love that.
We've been off for 2 weeks, so I've been in Vegas for 2 weeks. So yeah, we didn't have a show for 2 weeks, but we're back this week.
We're thrilled to give you a warm-up show before you deliver the content that the people desperately desire tomorrow night. Make sure, if you guys haven't already, do the right thing. If you're somehow not following Narco Cop MMA, you're doing the wrong thing, but there's a quick way to fix that. And while you're here, we're live every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern. We got the best bets, the best guests. I mean, come on. We got you guys Narco Cop MMA for International Fight Week, and it's always free picks. So we're here to have a great time. We appreciate all you guys in the chat. Grateful dude. We are looking forward to it. What up, Olajuwon? Blom Dog? Yeah, let's go. This is a great card. Phantom Punch, make sure you check out his content that he put out this week. Dixon, you the man. Appreciate you showing up. Rem Dog, what's going on? Daz, you're right. What a guest. Legend. Best card of the year. We tried to bring you the best guest possible. So let's get after it. This is what the people came for. We've got the lightweight title. This is just an absolutely amazing setup. We've got the Matador, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I mean, my God, this is what the people asked for. If we couldn't get Islam versus Ilia, I couldn't ask for a better way to welcome Ilia to 155 again, and this time with the belt on the line. The champion had a name. His name was Charles Oliveira, but I think this time around, me and the Guru sitting on a little plus 600 for Ilia to be the lightweight title holder at the end of 2025. I think we're looking and sitting pretty after this fight. I just think at this point, we're just going to try to see how fast do they get into it. Do they feel each other out for a round? Does Ilia point down in the middle and they just go after it immediately? It's tough to say. I feel like round 1, round 2, round 3 KO grouping would be a nice way to attack it. But you're probably not getting plus money. That's the issue. So let's take round 1 out of the equation. I think even for all this fanfare, we've seen Oliveira extend out at least a few times. Ilia, he's gotten later knockouts in plenty of fights. Great examples in Volkanovski, Holloway, even Josh Emmett going all the distance, even with all the damage. I think Oliveira is out of there within the first few rounds. but we're going to take a chance and cut round 1 out of the equation, and that's going to get us a lot better pricing. So, Guru, what are you thinking about my thoughts here? I mean,
you stole every single word from my freaking mouth, man. And you know who else he knocked out in round 2, boys? Jai Herbert, his only fight at lightweight. So I really do like taking a chance there and pulling round 1 out of the equation. Can he do it in round 1? Absolutely. But taking it out of the equation turns a minus 115 into a plus 280, boys. So taking a minus 455 to a plus 280 here with a round 2, round 3 KO grouping for Ilia Topuria. I love it. I think he's got power. Charles Oliveira, I mean, I know he's got power, right? I mean, is there a more impressive back-to-back win? And what's the most impressive back-to-back wins other than Alex Volkanovski, Max Holloway? I mean, like, yeah, you'd have to really, you're going back to John Jones days. Like, I just don't know. Like, really, really crazy.
Alvarez Aldo, does that do it for you?
I mean, like, not really. Eddie was never that guy like that. But you're getting warmer to what it is that we're talking about.
I'm just saying that's the best I can think of. So this truly is a legendary run, and he tried to change his name to the legend Ilia Topuria, but I like the Matador better.
It was a bad choice.
I like this better.
Yes, very, very much so. Charles Dubronx here. I think he's an absolute. I mean, again, I know he's an absolute legend, most prolific finisher in UFC. I just don't think that he's got anything for Topuria here. He's going to have to march forward and really try to clip this guy because Ilia Topuria came into the UFC as a grappler, right? He's a solid wrestler. His jiu-jitsu is fantastic. It's a really tough fight for Charles. Really tough fight. Narco, what do you think about removing round 1 from the equation?
Yeah, let me touch on something else really quick. You guys said who has a more impressive run? Is that me that's cutting off? Oh, sorry. I think it might.
That's all right. You're all good now. All good.
I'll tell you who has a more impressive run. Makhachev. He beat Charles Oliveira. He beat back-to-back Volkanovski, right? And then he beat Dustin Poirier. I think that's right up there with him. Because we're counting one Volkanovski win, right? We're counting one Volkanovski win and one Max Holloway win. So I think that really compares to it. But talking about round 1, man, I don't want to take it away just because of how Charles Oliveira fights, man. The guy is a front foot guy. He's going to come forward. He even said it himself. He's like, I'm coming forward. Like, that's the only way I know how to fight. And if he doesn't, I think he gets destroyed. He can't go on the back foot against Ilia Topuria. That would be a huge mistake. His only chance in this fight is to kind of like turn it into an absolute brawl early. Like, what is he going to try to get technical with Topuria while Topuria comes forward and lands huge hooks on him? We know the durability is not there, for Charles. He's tough, don't get me wrong, but is he going to be able to take one of those huge hooks from Topuria? I highly doubt it, right? So my thing is here, when I was breaking down this fight and looking at tape, one of the things that stuck out is, in his last 2 fights, Ilia Topuria really used that calf kick as a big weapon for him, especially against Holloway. He absolutely destroyed that lead leg from Holloway. And I don't think that's a weapon that he can use here against Oliveira because Oliveira checks kicks really well. He's a Muay Thai guy. He's not heavy on his lead leg. He's constantly picking it up. If you watch his fights, it's constantly, because he teeps a lot, right? He throws that front kick, that teep, So Oliveira is not heavy on that lead leg. So I don't think that's a weapon for Topuria early, that calf kick. The other thing I've noticed with Topuria is, he tends to not like eating kicks a lot from guys. If you noticed, Herbert is the one that hurt him with the, again, if you go back to his regional tape, he was hurt again by a head kick. So what does Oliveira do really well? He kicks really well, right? So, from a money line perspective, honestly, I think it's a little bit too big. I do think Topuria wins this fight. I do think Topuria finishes him. And I just think this is a violent fight, man. Like I don't think that you can count out Oliveira. Another thing you can't count out is if you noticed last fight, What did Charles Oliveira do that he normally doesn't really do in a lot of his fights? He grappled like crazy last fight, guys. 5 takedowns against a guy like Michael Chandler. It's not easy. The guy is a very good wrestler. It's not that easy to get 5. And he absolutely ragdolled Charles Oliveira there. So my thing is, like, would it surprise me if Oliveira came out shooting takedowns? You know, being the bigger guy now, you know, it's not like Topuria can stuff every takedown. We've seen him get taken down. Bryce Mitchell took him down. And Bryce Mitchell's fighting at 35 now. So would it be shocking that Charles Oliveira lands a takedown or two? And one last thing, like, I agree with you guys. Like, the level of competition has been incredible for Topuria, right? But is Max Holloway that dangerous? Is Alex Volkanovski that dangerous? I don't think so. I think they're technical fighters. They're very good technical fighters. But are they finishers like Charles Oliveira? No, they're absolutely not. Like, you could just look at their records and you could see who the actual finisher is. It's definitely Charles Oliveira. So from a more dangerous aspect, right? I think this is the most dangerous fighter he's faced. I mean, there's no questions about it. So whether it hits the mat, whether it's on the feet, Oliveira can finish a fight. So yeah, I kind of like violence here, man. I know that's a long-winded breakdown, but this is an incredible fight. And, you know, at the end of the day, I do lean Topuria. I think Topuria wins here. I think he finishes him, whether it be an arm triangle after he hurts him or something, or a KO, right? I think it could happen both ways. But I can't count out Charles Oliveira, honestly. I really can't. Like, if you're telling me, let me chuck Topuria in a parlay, absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to feel comfortable laying minus 455 against the most dangerous fighter he's faced, against the, you know, probably the biggest fighter he's faced, right? It's just scary to do something like that. So this is an incredible fight, man. Like, do not discount Charles Oliveira. I will say one last thing. Oliveira, tough weight cut again. He's already cutting weight. He's got 30 guys praying over him while he's cutting weight. Like, it's one of those scary weight cuts again, and he has to make championship weight. So there's no 156 here.
Oh my God. The cutting weight video is so freaking funny. Yeah, that stuff's not good. As always, Narco, you raise excellent points, and it's why your analysis is always one that I listen to every week. You know, try to pick my brain, even if I don't agree. Like, it's a train of thought that you start to really think about. You do a wonderful job of painting a picture. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and those are the things I worry most about. As far as why is the money line this price? I couldn't possibly bring myself to parlay this out. I mean, it's true degenerate mode in that case, and I'm trying to be a little bit better at that. So I'll talk to Grandma. We're going to dig into her couch. We'll listen to Lambo Plays. We'll make sure that we have a little action on this fight. But, you know, I wouldn't recommend having this as your largest spot of the night. So we move on because, I mean, what another absolute banger of a matchup. We've got the Cannibal, Alexandre Pantoja versus Don't Blink, Cara France. I don't know. I'm okay with this. Kara France. I'm sorry.
France.
It's probably France, right? I don't know. I was getting into it.
Don't blink.
Don't blink, baby. Things could go wrong immediately. But in this case, we got minus 238 on the Cannibal. We've got plus 195 on the KKF side. And I'm very interested to see what's changed for each of these guys since their tough matchup. And knowing Pantoja, he's not, delivering like DoorDash anymore. He has been solidified at American Top Team now for an extended period of time in the absolute best shape of his life, post USADA landscape.
All the vitamins Coconut Creek has to offer.
Everything you could ever possibly need. Besides that, we've seen he's still eminently hittable, and he still can have his takedowns denied at times. But when he does get the grappling going, when he does, finish taking a quick 20, 30-second break and getting back to putting the pressure on and throwing a ridiculous amount of volume and power, I think that he's going to be the one that has the bigger moments in this matchup. I think he has the higher potential for dominance. And I really don't love the things I've been hearing as far as like needing, I think there were some knee injuries. We had some concussions in training for Kai Kara-France. It's not ideal. And Pantoja's been a perfectly active champion. And we haven't really seen like a fall off in his game. And I think a lot of the damage that Erceg took in the matchup against Pantoja is what leads to Kara-France having a beautiful knockout. Don't get me wrong. You know, Stevie Boy, he's been leaving his chin on a plate for a while now, but
it's only 3 months. It's only 3 months after that, boys.
That's exactly my point. So while I am impressed with how Kara-France looked in that matchup, I mean, this guy has not been as active. He's going to need the fight to be at distance. He's not going to win any minutes with his wrestling. And I don't even know if he's going to land enough volume because the danger of the takedown, the back take, and also the body shots, the kicks, like Pantoja's striking is way more diversified at this stage. Whereas I think Kai Kara-France, he might have maybe shored up a little takedown defense and grappling. I don't think he's made as big of adjustments to his overall acumen, and I think Pantoja fights to his strengths better. So all that to say, this is a parlay piece you can have fun with. A minus 238, find one other leg. I think you could be successful. I'm having a tough time determining if it goes the distance or if Pantoja can find a finish, but I would lean more knockout actually than submission. Kara-France has incredible rear naked choke defense, and I think it's more actually liable for him to gas out, get hurt to the body, and get finished in that way. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll confidently take Pantoja here. Guru?
I think I like this fight to go the distance, and I'm leaning Pantoja by decision in that regard. I do really like Pantoja in this spot. I mean, it's kind of strange that people were giving Steve Erceg shit for getting a title shot, but nobody says anything about Kai Kara-France being 1-2 in his last 3 and getting a title shot when we've got guys like Josh Van and Brandon Royval going to fight each other to the fucking death for the spot that they probably deserve here. Yeah, I don't really see it. I mean, if you like Kai Kara-France, I don't even think you need the money line. I think you take the KO because he's going to have to hit him with a Hail Mary type shot. Hear me out. Is Alexandre Pantoja, if he wins this fight, like, is he putting himself as best flyweight of all time? Like, people were talking about Davidson Figueiredo like he was. And I mean, comparatively, I think this run is better. They literally ruined Figueiredo's career with the back and forth of the Moreno shit. But I don't know, man. Another title contender here. He turns him away and then fights a fresh guy like Van. And I mean, geez Louise. Or Royval again.
Still Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, no, it's still Mighty Mouse.
It's still Mighty Mouse. But in the newer era, maybe.
Correct. It's still Mighty Mouse. You're right. But to that point, again, people were saying, people were saying it about Figueiredo at the time as well. But 100% in the revisionist history, Pantoja. So yeah, I think that's what makes most sense to me. I like Pantoja to get it done. I think TB, you make a lot of good points about his overall takedown defense being very good and his sub defense being pretty solid. I think you're going to have to hurt him first, and yeah, I think they're flyweights, so I'll take my chances. What do you think, Narco?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty weird title fight, honestly, for Kai Kara. Like, you don't see many guys, like you said, go 1-2 in their last 3 and get a title shot. It just kind of tells you that the kind of division is a little, it's changing a bit, They don't want to keep seeing Brandon Moreno versus fucking Pantoja and recycle the same guy. So I think they gave Kai Kara-France a chance after, KOing Erceg there. But, something I noticed from the Kai Kara-France side, he doesn't really do well when guys are aggressive, man. Like the aggressive fighters, the guys that are coming forward that are aggressive with him, he tends to shell up a lot. He puts his hands up. Like, he wants to counter, but I think that will open up Pantoja for takedowns, honestly, when he does stuff like that. And, when you watch the Moreno fight, like the body kick, right? He wasn't doing bad in that fight, But also Moreno never even shot a single takedown in that fight. Like he just stood with him and kind of beat him at his game, right? And I do think Moreno's a better striker than Pantoja. But I also think Pantoja's like more explosive on the feet. Like he throws some nasty fucking body kicks. He throws everything into his punches. So he's trying to kill you. Even though, he doesn't, most of his finishes are subs, but he still has power. Like don't sleep on that. And, when you look at everything here, right, there's only one guy that's been finished 6 times here. And that's not fucking Pantoja. That's Kai Kara France, And then people are always saying, oh, well, he has that big power. He can knock out Pantoja. But who has knocked out Pantoja? Nobody. Go back and watch. I will tell you, I didn't remember it in real time. But when I taped the Asakura fight, right, one thing that Asakura does to almost all of his opponents is he has those nasty knees, dude. Like they're like his timing are so good on his knees. He knocks so many people out and hurts so many people to the body with them. He landed a flush knee to the face. He landed a flush knee to his liver. You could see him in slow motion. And Pantoja took both of them. Like he's like ate them for lunch. Like that's all you have for me? And kept marching forward. So it's like, it's hard for me to envision this guy get knocked out, honestly. Like, it's crazy how good his chin is, his recoverability is. And honestly, quite honestly, he's looked incredible. Like, I know the Usyk fight was kind of close, but Usyk is a way better grappler than Kai Kara France. He's a way better scrambler than Kai Kara France. He's a black belt on the ground for a reason, right? So when I watch Kai Kara France, yes, he has good takedown defense initially, right? But what's his one flaw in a lot of his fights? He gets his back taken. He got his back taken 3 times by Askarov. He got his back taken by Bontarin. He almost got subbed. Like,
yeah,
I get it. He's got great rear naked choke defense. But if Pantoja gets to those positions with his hand underneath your neck or arm underneath your neck, you're done. He's finishing you. He's not Bontarin. He's not what's the other guy I just mentioned? Who is the last guy that had the rear naked? Oh, Albazi. He's gonna finish those rear naked chokes on you. So, like, I constantly see him giving up his back, whether it's on the fence, whether it's on the ground getting up, and Pantoja's gonna jump your back. That's the other thing. And you know who jumped his back? Albazi jumped his back. And Pantoja can do the exact same thing. So, like, there's so much love I've seen all week for Kai Kara France. And, like, I don't see him knocking out Pantoja. And he's going to get taken down. I'm almost certain he's going to get taken down. So then what happens? Like, is he going to just continually get up very easily against a guy like Pantoja? I don't think so. I honestly think he's going to get subbed, to be honest. Like, just watching, yes, his submission defense is good, but it gets way too far, dude. That rear naked choke gets way too far in so many fights. And he's been RNC'd before. It was a while ago. But, dude, we're talking about the best grappler, the best submission grappler at 125. It's a different level. And there's levels to grappling. I think Pantoja's going to finish him, honestly. I don't think this fight's going to go to distance. I think he's going to find an RNC, and he's not going to get out of it. Kai Kara France not getting out of that. So that's how I see the fight. I think the line is a little bit short. Like TB said, I think maybe you can chuck him in a parlay.
The 2-3-4 sub grouping for Alexandre Pantoja is plus 440. So,
yeah, that's a fair number. I think that's fair.
It's not bad. Yeah. Not bad. It's going to be tough to nail down exactly when or what happens, but I feel very confident in the Pantoja side for sure.
I definitely like Pantoja here as well. Well said.
All right. We've got Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Joshua the Fearless Fan. This guy's relentless. Back again. We were there, UFC 316, and next thing you know, it's UFC 317. And we've got Josh Fan back in action, short notice, filling in for a star boy, Manel Kape. I'm very curious. I'm going to go ahead, let Narco. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts on this fight are.
Yeah, man. Pre-tape, I wanted to bet Joshua Van. I'll tell you guys right now. Like, I love the guy. I love his boxing. I love his body work. Incredible cardio, right? Like, Dana White already said whoever wins is getting the title shot, which is a big motivator for both guys now. You know, like, I heard, like, if you listen to Brandon Royval's interview, it's very bearish, right? Like him saying that he got a concussion, and then 2 weeks later, he had a severe concussion. He couldn't train for 2 months. You know, he said even when he was on a stationary bike, he was getting concussion symptoms. You know how scary that is? You're riding a damn bike, you're stationary, and he's getting concussions just from pushing. So, like, it's a bit scary, you know, when you talk about concussions like that back to back, that kept him out for so long, facing a boxer, you know, that hits decently hard. It's scary, right? The thing with Joshua Van that I noticed on tape is, like, Paris Moran, he fought in Fury FC. He's very similar in stature to Brandon Royval, and he's similar in the sense that he's a southpaw and he kicks a lot. And if you look at that fight, Moran had a lot of success early, kicking, catching Joshua Van's kicks, until Van just KO'd him. You know, he landed a big shot and KO'd him. The thing is with this fight is I don't think there's going to be grappling success for Royval, but it's one of those fights where he gets to match the volume, right? Like Royval can match your volume. And Royval is a lot longer than Van. He can kick him from the outside. He has those sneaky kicks to the left hand that Van hasn't really seen. And if you watch, you know, against the one guy that he lost to recently, which is Charles Johnson, right? Charles Johnson mixes a lot of kicks, punches, volume. He's long, very similar to Royval. So it worries me, the size difference, right? The volume is going to be there. This is not a fight that Joshua Van can outpace Royval. Royval has an insane pace, right? So the question is going to be is, can he hurt Royval? Can he, you know, finish him potentially with shots? And honestly, I don't know the question to it, because the concern is the concussion thing. Like, if it's real and if he's still, like, not fully there, like, yeah, he could probably get concussed with the first big shot. I don't know. I don't know how hard he's been going in training camp. I will tell you that I had a huge bet on Manal Cape at minus like 230 or 240. A huge bet. It's probably my biggest bet ever, because I thought he was going to knock out Royval. But Cape is a way better sniper than Van is. Van needs to get in the pocket, get in close. No, Cape is way, you know, faster, and he's a sniper from the outside. Like, so he can counter you really, really hard. So, I really don't know where to go here. Like, I kind of feel like the line is just about right. You know, I feel like it's dog or pass just because Royval has more experience, faced a better level of competition, right? But I like Josh Van. I think he's really good. You know, if there's a kink in his armor, he gets hit a lot, and he's been hurt multiple times, right? He's been hurt in many fights. Borjas fight, a couple of times. Chairez fight, you know, a couple of times. Obviously, Charles Johnson knocked him out, you know, and you see the guy gets hurt. So I don't think Royval's like some big puncher, but he's like sneaky with his strikes. You know, he's very sneaky. He's throwing them in volume. You don't see it.
How about that spinning elbow? That spinning elbow he hits Kai Kara France with.
He's wild, dude. He's unpredictable. The guy's fucking throwing 15 punches at a time, and you don't know what they are. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting fight.
It's a fantastic fight.
It's hard to pick a side for me, just because I'll tell you, if Royval didn't have that concussion problem, I'd probably lean him. But I truly can't go with him because of that. Like, it worries me that he took like almost 3 months off, dude, from even training. That's a bad concussion. You know, the first concussion he had, he said it was wrestling. He bumped heads, but he didn't say what the second one is. And I'm venturing to guess that he got knocked out in training, you know, that because he didn't say what it was. The first one was bumping heads in wrestling, but what was the fucking second one? He got knocked out cold? You know, we don't know. So Yeah, I don't want to mess with this fight, honestly. I'm gonna watch it and enjoy the fight. What do you guys think? What do you guys like here?
That's scary shit, man. I mean, I think you raise excellent points about the length of Charles Johnson and that volume giving him trouble. And the first thing that comes to my mind when you mention Edgar Shirez hurting him is you got it, length again. So with Brandon Royval, I mean, I kind of was kicking myself that I didn't get Josh Van at plus money, and then it's kind of now it's like I can get Royval at plus 110 over on FanDuel. I mean, let this thing keep going. I mean, I might have to get involved because to your point, who's ever been able to keep up with Josh Van, the striker that's landed the most strikes in UFC history, whatever it is. It's the only guy that can do it is Brandon Royval. That's his game. He's a volume merchant. So I think it's really, really dangerous to touch this fight in general, but I kind of lean like you, Narco. I'm kind of feeling dog or pass at this point, but I suppose I kind of felt dog or pass when Josh Van was the dog. So maybe that tells me I just need to stay away and enjoy, which is a philosophy I'm trying desperately to learn how to do. So yeah, I really am very, very excited for this fight. It's absolutely incredible. Guys, it was only a year ago that Josh Van got knocked out. He's won 4 times since then and is fighting again. That's Kevin Holland level of absolutely batshit crazy. So, and the Bruno Silva fight, I mean, like, yeah, he knocked him out in 3 and was in control the whole time, but it's not like he didn't get hit at all. So, very, very good fight. Very excited for it. Should be a banger of a card. TB, I know you got your Josh Van ticket. What are you doing?
Right. So I did touch a little dabble at plus 105. But I'm thinking to myself, is there not like a 70% chance that we see like plus 150 or plus 200 about 3 minutes into the fight? Seems like the typical Josh Van, appearance. And especially a guy like Royval that's going to throw a ton of volume, a ton of elbows, a ton of knees, a ton of weird strikes where you're going to want to get a read for a little bit. And with Van's boxing, I do favor him as the fight extends out because it's going to be the technique of being able to rip to the body and head in combination, using the jab to set up his entries. But like we said, I don't think he really has the biggest power. He might even be one of those guys that can make like 115 if they had that division. You know what I mean? So I think it's more the volume, the pressure, all those things that add up for him to create these finishes. But he's only had 2 in all these fights in the UFC. So it's not like we're really looking at one punch knockout power. It's his ability to throw strikes in combination at a high pace. I love this fight to go the distance, I think. I don't think Royval's finishing Van. I also don't think that Royval is as good of a boxer as Charles Johnson is. He's not going to throw an uppercut from God that he doesn't see coming. From Hades, I should say.
That is what I wanted to throw out there, a little Lambo style, little grandma's couch cushion robbery style. I don't know. Like the times that anybody's taken a shot at trying to fade Josh Van has been with the grappling, right? So Royval by sub at plus 850. Woo-wee. That's pretty steep. That's pretty steep. Especially if he gets hurt, he shoots a dumb takedown, snatches up a neck, whatever, takes his back, slips on a banana peel. I don't know. But plus 850 for a guy as dangerous as Royval, very, 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 very interesting. But you know what, TB? Again, as you say that you don't think Van can get knocked out by him, it's like, who the fuck does Charles Johnson knock out? And I love that guy. That's my boy. But, like, who does he knock out? Who does he finish? Ode Osborne?
So he also had a much longer reach than Royval does with his hands.
True.
So it's one of those strikes where, and they started getting into a pocket war to start round 3. So listen, you could say about Charles Johnson and his UFC finishing capabilities, but look at what this guy was doing on the regional scene as the fight went deep. But regardless, I think this is a tough fight, and plus money on either side, you're probably not doing the wrong thing. It's going to be tough for me to have a ton of conviction, but I feel like you're going to get a better number on Van at this point if you wait until live, and we'll leave it at that. I'm not taking Royval, though. I'll take Van here. All right, we're moving on. We've got Benny the Bull, Beneil Dariush. versus Renato Money Moicano. Welcome to the TB nickname experience. We finally made it. It's minus 105 for Dariush, and it's minus 115 for Money Moicano. Guru, why don't you go ahead first this time?
Well, I don't like Benny the Bull. I think that nickname sucks.
Well, that's not nice.
I don't think Narco's moved by it either. And I'll also say that I hate rebookings. I hate betting on rebookings. It's why I didn't bet Fight Goes the Distance, Joe Pyfer and Gastelum, because it was a rebooking, and I absolutely should have done that. But I didn't, because I hate rebookings. So here I am with a plus 125 ticket on Beneil Dariush after I had a plus, what did we have? Plus 150, plus 170. What did we have the last time? I mean, it was much better than plus 125. But I kind of like what Beneil Dariush said at the press conference or during his interviews. He's like, I think I'm better than Renato Moicano everywhere. And I kind of agree. Unless he's really just shot in the chin department, which they both have proven at times that they are, I think that he's got a really, really good chance. Am I maybe just like, I don't know, reaching back too far into the dream machine, back into the heydays of where he beat Mateus Gamrot? Like, am I going too far? Like where he beat Diego Ferreira? The incredible fight with Jakar Close? I guess I'm too far, right? Is this guy done? Is he cooked? 2 round 1 finishes in a row were bad, and we haven't seen him in a while. And he just got paid show and I think win money for the Renato Moicano situation. So he just got a fat paycheck to do nothing. He's been running his gym. Renato Moicano is hilarious. The podcast, I mean, he's setting himself up really good for after UFC too. So I just like his anger and his energy, but I think I'm going to go with Beneil Dariush. I think I'm going to keep my plus money ticket. And let me ask you this, gentlemen. I like the fight to go the distance. I mean, this is 2 old uncles beating each other up in the backyard, right? They're gonna try to take each other's pants off. So, like,
how dare you, sir?
Yeah, exactly. How does it feel to have your shit stolen because you go first?
Fair enough.
So, Fight Goes the Distance is plus 125. But when you look at how they're pricing these guys' methods of victory, both the cheapest method of victory on these guys is the decision. The bookies have no idea how either of these guys are finishing the fight or what the fuck is happening. So plus 275 Beneil decision, plus 350 Renato decision, and everything else after that is higher. Yet we can get the fight to go the distance at plus money. I think I'm doing the plus money bonanza here. So I got my Benny Boy plus money, and I'm going to rock with a Fight Goes the Distance plus money play as well.
Narco?
Yeah, man, I love Benny. Like, he's one of my favorite fighters. He's my same ethnicity as I am. I have my first cousin's very, very good friends with him. And, when I run back this tape, man, it just worries me, man. It really does. Like, the way he panicked in the Charles Oliveira fight when he had like 3 minutes of top time, the way he panicked just getting up, like he let him up. It was so weird. And then Charles, threw the head kick, didn't land flush. Obviously, Beneil stopped it a little bit, might have like buzzed him or something. But then the way he just crumbled on the ground is like, what the fuck just happened? This guy just like, where did he? I know he got hit, but like, it acted like, a atomic bomb hit him, and he just like kind of like shelled up, right?
I was so upset. We had money on that fight. We had money on Dariush. I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated.
Yeah, and then the Yarman fight comes, and initially I thought the knee landed, right? And then you go back and watch the replay, and the knee didn't land. The knee landed like in his chest. But then you see the sneaky right hand, a short right like hook, and it lands on the chin. But it's not even about like it's not even about the punch landing. Like the way it puts him out, like he's completely out from that punch, and it's like a short punch right to the chin, and he goes completely out, right? And we can go back a little and look at Beneil, and we've always said this about him, and I've said this. His chin has been iffy for a long time, right? He gets hurt, he gets buzzed, and he recovers somehow. Like, there's so many fights. Like, you can go back so many fights. He gets hurt in a lot of them, right? And everybody would say, oh, eventually it's going to catch up to him. And sure enough, the last 2 fights, it's caught up to him. Moicano is, I don't think he's a big hitter or anything. I think people underrate his power. I will say that. He's got actually very good striking. I don't mind his striking. His Muay Thai is not bad at all. He's got good kicks. He's got straight punches, which I like. And if you look at these guys' stats, dude, it's like they're mirror images. 72-inch reach, 36.1 years of age, 5'10" and 5'11". They're literally mirror images. They both kind of strike the same. Beneil has a little bit more dynamic striking, let's say, right? But they're both very good grapplers. The one edge that I see for Beneil, it's pretty big for me, is the wrestling. I think he's the better wrestler. Like, go back and watch the Dos Anjos fight. Like, Dos Anjos was pretty much taking down Moicano whenever he wanted, right? And I know that fight was at 70, but Dos Anjos is not a 70-pounder. He's legit a 55er. So, like, I feel like Beneil can take him down here. Like, if he's smart, don't strike here, Beneil. Like, your chin is shot, buddy. Like, just try to get takedowns, and hopefully he doesn't panic like the Oliveira fight, right? And stay on top. And then the other thing with Moicano is he's kind of, when I watched some of the times he was on his back against Dos Anjos, he's kind of reluctant to stay on his back and just kind of like fish for submissions and I don't think he's subbing Beneil on top. I could tell you that. So it's like Beneil decision, something like that, or fight goes, like you said. I don't get the plus money here. The only way I think it finishes, guys, is if Beneil gets knocked out, because I don't trust his chin, honestly. I don't think he's knocking out Moicano. I know people saying, well, Moicano looks a little bit. Nah, man, look at the beating he took against RDA. He didn't quit. He took an absolute fucking beating in that fight. So, yes, he's been knocked out before, but I think his chin is way better than Beneil right now at this point in their career. And yeah, he got dropped against Turner, but Turner's a nuclear hitter at 55. Like, the guy hits very hard, but he recovered. Turner let him, but, Beneil to me is like, he's going out cold, dude. And who has Sarukian one punch knocked out? Who? Nobody.
Ooh, dude, did he fight Giagos or something and do that too?
Yeah, maybe Giagos. Like, he doesn't really one punch anybody. He's a grappler. So I don't know. Benny's just scaring me from the perspective that his chin might be gone. But dude, if I'm in his corner, I'm like, Benny, wrestle this dude. Take him down. You can take this dude down.
Tell your cousin. Tell your cousin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing with Benny with his interview too, not in the interview that he did in his car. The one thing he said, it kind of turned me off. He's like, I feel the best I've ever felt. I'm doing incredible in training. But if I can't translate the training, which I've been doing really well into the ring, then I might as well stop fighting.
Oh my God. I was just going to fucking ask that, bro. I was literally going to say, if he loses here, would anybody, I swear I was going to ask this because I think my ticket even hinges on it. If he loses here, would it surprise anybody that he hangs up the gloves? So I can't take his money on it.
I honestly think, my true feeling, I think if he loses, he's retiring.
I don't know if I can leave my money on him. I'd rather just put it on the decision then.
What I can guarantee you is you should not have the level of exposure that you currently have. If you're going to do anything, you should limit it. And what I will say is, yeah, I mean, if this fight is going the distance, I truly think that Dariush should clearly be winning the minutes in the long run. But there's that X factor, right? And there's the concerns. It's like once he started having his wife and young children sleeping with him in his room before the nights of the fights and like traveling with them and not with like his training partners and coaches, and he's got his own gym. There's a lot of outside the octagon concerns, and the plus money, it could be a beautiful thing. It also could just be a honeypot. Maybe this is just the opportunity of a lifetime on The guy that seems a little bit more locked in, at least on the fighting aspect, in Money Moicano. It's just in a pure talent, evaluation. It just keeps taking me back to Beneil. So, yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Nico Price Jr., the 12th. Yeah, stronger, more powerful.
Who is that? That's amazing.
This is great, though. Yeah, we'll get to that one, but this
That's
is
fucking
a great
awesome.
one.
What a great nickname.
Absolutely
of the week.
Incredible. All right, yeah. Doesn't go the distance. Nah, I'm not going to touch that one, unfortunately. All right, we're going to move on. We've got T1000 Peyton Talbot versus Terrence and Felipe Lima. Minus 180 for Lima, plus 150 on the Talbot side. The Guru's digesting it. He can't really hate it, but he wants to. I can see it. He really wants to hate it, but two absolutely electric TV nicknames to kick off this fight.
Well, the problem is that you took Jungle Boy from Felipe Lima, and that's pretty good.
Oh, it wasn't on. Oh, damn, it was on there. That's just my fault. So I'd like to apologize, but this is an ode to the Guru's cats, Terrence and Felipe.
And
Lima.
South Park, of course.
Yes. Which that's what it's an ode to. So, anyways, plus 150 on the Talbot side. By God, I'm tempted. I'm curious, what does Lima have the ability to shoot? I don't know, 5 takedowns around? That's probably what he needs in this matchup. I can't envision him being the better striker. He's giving up 4 inches of height. He's giving up 2 inches of reach. And I think Talbot's the way better striker. My worry here, as everyone's probably having the same thoughts, it's how many Barcelos goes 8 out of 16 on takedown attempts, 8 out of 15. And he gets it for 9 minutes of the fight. Now it's less than a minute of control time per takedown. But if Lima's able to shoot them consistently and Talbot keeps on giving up back control to get to his feet and getting brought back down to the mat again and giving up a body triangle, and he's got to fight the hands, like this could end up being a super frustrating dog ticket. But I think it's one I might need to take, because when this fight is on the feet at distance, and if Talbot's absolutely locked in on drilling takedown defense for this fight, there is a chance that he comes out with the victory here. I mean, he is a talented prospect. I think it's very easy for the community. A lot of guys can't look themselves in the mirror. So the fact that Talbot's kind of running around and playing around with Frank Ocean, that could be a tough thing for a lot of guys to swallow. No pause. But Payne Talbot, I mean, he's a serious fighter. That's the moral of the story. And Barcelos, he's a tough dude. He's a great wrestler. And he's got a lot better track record of also being a great striker on top of it. And Talbot wrecked this guy from distance. So I can't take Lima at this
I don't know.
place.
Is Muhammad Naimov and Miles Johns not leaps and bounds better than anybody he's fought, other than, I suppose, Hani Barcelos? Right? Like, that's a problem, man. Felipe Lima has looked so good. And we just saw a smaller fighter in, I know it's a little different, right? But we saw a smaller fighter in Rafael Fiziev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes and get inside. I think that this might even be a similar type of spot where he could just be dirtier inside and make it a problem for Peyton.
Yeah, but Fiziev was the better defensive striker. Bahamondes wasn't throwing any boxing for the first couple rounds, and he was throwing kicks at a guy who defends kicks better than anyone else in the UFC. I don't think the comparison from a size perspective is the same type.
I mean, look at the striking defense numbers of Felipe Lima. He has 72% striking defense, brother, compared to Peyton Talbot's 48. Anybody
Miles
gets hit,
John sucks. He went 31 of 137. That's where the stat came from, brother. That doesn't count. I'm sorry.
Fair. Okay.
And then Muhammad Naimov, he goes from distance 26 out of 72. And that guy, let me break it to you, he also sucks on the feet.
All right. Well, here's the other caveat that I have. And I kind of agree with the bookies in the over 2.5 minus 200. Not that I want to play it, just that there's only one guy here that has a litany of experience going the distance, and it's Felipe Lima. He has 7 wins by decision. Peyton Talbot's 1-1 to the decision. So with me thinking and the bookies thinking that it's going over, I just kind of end up thinking that Lima's going to do enough to get the decision.
This could be frustrating on the Talbot side.
Yeah, so like I can't do it. So that's why I'm not there. And if there is a finish, I actually think that it's on the like Peyton Talbot gets one. Like I think he somehow gets him because he's probably the more flashy, explosive striker in that regard. But I can't get there on a dog shot. I don't know that I'm going to get there, period, on this fight. Maybe Narco could talk to me. We'll definitely be chiming and looking at tomorrow to see what Lambo plays they got cooked up.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what I see from Felipe Lima, honestly. One thing people are overlooking, and they keep going back and saying, Peyton Talbot is the better striker. I really don't know. Does he have more volume? Sure. I think technically speaking, Felipe Lima is probably the better striker. And honestly, his striking defense, like you mentioned, nobody's talking about that. Like, look, you got to watch. Peyton Talbot is an absolute bot when it comes to defense. Like his head is on the center line, fucking like a platter, and just hit me while I march forward. Like that's not going to look good when the other guy in front of you is going to hit and move. He's going to have a speed advantage. He has a footwork advantage. Like Lima's not going to sit in front of you. He's got a very nice guard. He doesn't let you land flush on him, And I know you said Miles John's not good. Yeah, I don't think he's a great striker, but you have to give Lima credit in that fight. Look at it. Look at how he moves his head, how he circles, his footwork. It's really, really good. Peyton Talbot doesn't do any of that. He marches forward, head on the center line, take one to give one, which it's not good. I don't think that's going to work out against a guy like Lima. Lima's going to circle. He's going to kick you. He's going to move. He's way faster, in my opinion. And then you start mixing in the grappling. Like Peyton Talbot, when you have to worry about grappling, which he has to worry about in this fight, it opens up the striking even more for Lima. So, like I feel like everybody's on Peyton Talbot this week in saying it's a buy low spot, it's a bounce back spot because he was minus 1,000 last fight. Well, clearly minus 1,000 was wrong, right?
Right.
Like let's forget about the minus 1,000. He should have never been minus 1,000. And I made a mistake of not betting Barcelos because, quite honestly, I thought Barcelos had a great path, but I thought he was shot.
I thought he was totally washed.
Totally washed. And I stayed away because of that, right? I said to myself, man, look at his last couple of fights. He looks washed, dude. The guy looks washed. I can't bet him. He comes in and puts an absolute clinic on this guy, and he almost finished him a couple of times in that fight. So Lima's a great back taker, man. Like he's going to jump your back. Talbot can get taken down. Talbot gives up his back a lot. I like how he scrambles up.
Yo.
What?
He gives up his back a lot. Hey. Giving it up to Frank. No, he's giving it up to Frank. I'm just fucking. You didn't say anything so bad.
The thing is like Talbot has a lot of deficiencies. Striking defense, ground game, takedown defense. So Lima's a complete package to me. He's got cardio. He's got durability. He can grapple. He can strike. So I just think it's a terrible matchup. Like, I get that Barcelos is a better grappler, right? He's a better grappler than Lima, no doubt. He's a better wrestler, for sure. But Barcelos not a better striker than Lima either, right? And he doesn't have the cardio Lima has either. So it's like Lima's been 5 rounds, hard 5 rounds against Jonas Magard. Back and forth grappling, insane grappling match, back and forth. So, like, I'm not worried about his cardio. And it's a 3-round fight. So, like, I don't know. I kind of lean the Lima side, honestly. I can't lay the minus 180, don't get me wrong. Because Talbot, I do rate him. I do think he's a good fighter. I just think it's a terrible matchup for him. And, guys, I bet Nick Aguirre at plus 500 against Peyton Talbot. And guess what? After 1 round, it was pick'em. And I get to bet Talbot then live and easily arb out and get a free money there. But, like, Talbot's a liability, get his back taken. Let's not be, if Nick Aguirre can do it, Felipe Lima can do it. That's
How many wins do Peyton Talbot's, how many UFC wins do Peyton Talbot's 3 wins have in the UFC? Right? Like, is it 1 between the 3 of them? Is it 2?
I think Simon has maybe one or
It's like-
two.
I think
Right.
he's 3 wins, that guy.
But
Even though he
Simon
sucks.
Simon also beat 3 guys that are not in the UFC.
Exactly.
Terrence Mitchell,
Right.
awful.
Miles
Lana Martinez,
Yeah.
barely. And then Steven Kozlow, he was actually getting grapple.
Nobody
fights.
talks shit about Obi
none of them are in the
Kenobi
UFC.
Pillow.
But I don't even rate Simon at this point.
Miles Johns himself has 6 UFC wins, boys. Like you have to put some respect on Felipe Lima's name. I got him
Even
at plus money.
Naimov, guys.
Yeah,
Naimov,
I bet him versus Naimov plus money.
Naimov is like 5-1 in the UFC. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. He's 5-1. So like, I don't care. Like at the end of the day, both of those guys are way better than anybody Talbot's beat. Way better.
Damn it, you make a good point. All right, so my intrigue has disappeared, but I still stand in the boat of I can't lay this type of price on the favorite.
I
in
feel
this
good.
spot.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know.
I'm good
I
on
think
that.
you
I
can
will
do it.
take fight goes in that case. If there needs to be a move, that's probably it.
That
But
makes sense.
I think I need to pass. All right. What you guys need to do is not pass on hitting the like button for the love of all that is good. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Doesn't cost you a thing. Now we're going to give you some other options here. Like last week, make the bookies pay. Amazing, crazy, out of nowhere donation. But in his honor, we created the Make the Bookies Pay parlay. If you want to sponsor Chronic Combat, send us a lovely donation. Listen, it doesn't change anything besides supporting the boys. That's up to you. So regardless, we thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll keep this show on the road because we know what you guys came here for. It's a UFC 317 breakdown of a lifetime. So we've got Jack the Joker Hermanson versus, what was it, the 44th president of the United States?
I think so.
Barack Hobocop Obama, Gregory Rodriguez, straight from his prior Oval Office experiences, now taking place with, he's still got to fight for his money in the UFC. Things didn't work out. There's divorce rumors. He's got to fight. So here we are. We've got Hobocop in the octagon, minus 218 against the Joker, Jack Hermanson. And truly, I think, the question in my mind, typically in a Hermanson matchup, is this guy going to physically overwhelm Jack Hermanson? And is Jack Hermanson going to melt to the power? And in this scenario, I think the answer is yes. I think Hermanson is not going to like what's coming back his direction, especially early. Now, if he does and he survives that, this guy's going to turn it on in the late going. So plus 180, man, you guys are probably going to be able to get plus 300, plus 400 at some point in the first round if Hermanson's, eating the jab, eating the 1-2. Because I know he doesn't want to necessarily give Hobocop the fight that he wants. But Hobocop is also a very technical boxer. I think he's got solid enough kicks. And he's going to be the way bigger guy, like just from a size perspective. Now, Hermanson, he is going to have reach. I think he's going to be better at fighting off the back foot. He has solid calf kicks. I just don't love what happens when he feels power. You see it in the Jared Cannonier fight. You see it, plenty of times in his career. Other examples, Sean Strickland is able to just kind of like bully him with output. Roman Dolidze, that was an absolutely crazy finish. Marvin Vettori fight, he gets knocked down early, and just when you think, man, Jack's about to turn it up, he's starting to gain his momentum. He wins like the third round. He just kind of fizzles out down the stretch again. And yeah, the Cannonier losses prior to that. Thiago Santos absolutely melts him. There's a lot of examples of when he fights an explosive fighter, and when he fights David Branch, Jacare, towards the end of his career. That was a crazy upset, but he just wrestles him the entire time. Kelvin Gastelum, really quick heel hook. Dunzo immediately. You're not getting Hobocop with that. Edmund Shabazian doesn't even finish this guy, mind you. takes him the distance. Chris Curtis runs away from him for 15 minutes. Joe Pyfer loses the first 2 rounds handily, and this is where maybe you'll be like, okay, but he survives a guy that punches harder than Ngannou. Pyfer's not necessarily finishing a lot of people these days. So I think Hobocop's got way better finishing potential. He's a way better boxer. He's got way more power. And that HGH gut, yeah, Rem Dog, exactly.
I mean, he outlanded Chris Curtis by double, brother. Who ran away from a who?
It was kick and run.
Yeah,
and Curtis
well,
had less reach.
Chris Curtis just follows him around the cage because he's fucking dumb. He doesn't cut it off. Anyway, I personally was coming into this like trying to find a way to bet Jack Hermansson here. And at the end of the day, I can't do it because he can be overwhelmed physically, like you said, in the striking. But I don't necessarily see it here. Like, of course he can get clipped, but I kind of like the fight going the distance. And maybe I'm crazy with that. But again, he's knocking out who? Julian Marquez, no chin. Chidi and Njokuani, no heart. Dennis Tululian, awful. Brad Tavares, that's his best one. That's late round 3. And again, I just remember like the Chidi fight. His face was torn apart. Any other ref stops that fight because his skull is showing. So that's a loss.
Yeah, like Jack's not doing that though.
No, of course not. But my question to everybody is, and again, you can tell me I'm crazy or tell me I'm wrong. When was the last time Gregory Rodriguez has faced anybody that would be wanting to take him down? Or anybody that could grapple at the level of Jack Hermansson? Nobody. It's nowhere to be found. He even loses a split decision to Armen Petrosian. Like, that's just a straight up kickboxing fight. He can't get it done. Like, I just don't love it, man. Jack is interesting to me because as I continue to talk to myself and I think that the fight goes the distance, I start to remember the fact that we took Jared Cannonier at plus money over Gregory Rodriguez and that we felt that he could survive and that he would just get tired. This is not a 5-round fight, which Gregory Rodriguez had never fought before. This is 3, but he still gets tired. So it's from a money line perspective, I'm not interested in Gregory. The KO, I get it. I really think that Jack Hermansson's tougher than that. Again, though, while watching the tape, the way he lost to Jared Cannonier, and I remember watching that live. That was one of the early times when I was really just getting involved, like with watching UFC religiously. I was like, how the fuck did this guy just lose at home in Denmark like that? So either way, I like FICO in the distance. I think it goes. Maybe I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy, boys. Somebody tell me I'm crazy.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Gregory Rodriguez side, honestly. The one thing you guys didn't touch at is, Hermansson's 37. He's only had 1 fight in the last 3 years, dude. And he hasn't had a fight. He hasn't had a fight since February of 2024. And you guys want to know the reasoning?
What was the reason?
Terrible back issues, and he had a nasty shoulder surgery that kept him out of training for 12 months. He didn't train.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of bad things going on with Hermansson. You don't want to see that with a 37-year-old, coming off of injuries, bad injuries, shoulder surgery. And this guy's been historically, like, he talks about his injuries. He gets injured a lot. And this is a long layoff for a 37-year-old. That's not something you want to see. 12 months with no training, like zero training for this guy. That's not good. And now he's facing a guy that's been active in Gregory Rodriguez. He's been active. He does look 43 instead of 33. I will say that. I doubt this guy is 33 years old, but, he's been very active. He's been fighting a decent amount. He fought twice in 2024. He fought already once in 2025. And, the one thing with Hermansson that I do like is he's got a good high guard defense. He keeps his hands up. He moves a lot, right? He's got decent footwork. He'll kick you. I don't think he's going to stand in front of, the guy avoids like trading with guys, right? He doesn't like that. If you watch a Pyfer fight, like whenever Pfeiffer loaded up to throw, he'd land like on the gloves or whatever. Hermanson was out of there. He's like, fuck this. I'm not getting hit with one of those. So, like, in both of his knockouts, if you see those knockouts, you know, in Cannonier and Thiago Santos, the other one he got injured in both of the knockouts, both of them were uppercuts. Cannonier landed a nice uppercut, dropped him, finished him. Thiago Santos landed an uppercut. He backed up and he landed a second one, dropped him, and he finished him. From tape, I don't see Rodriguez throwing many uppercuts, if at all. He loves throwing hooks. He loves throwing straight shots, but there's no uppercuts to see. And the reason why I mentioned this is because of the guard. Hermanson has a high guard. He's blocking those hooks, but he doesn't block the uppercuts because of that high guard. So, kind of agree with Guru. I kind of lean like going over, fight goes. But I like the Gregory side, honestly. I think Gregory, more horsepower. He's going to land the bigger shots. Jack Hermanson has pillow fists. He can't fucking knock anybody out on the feet. You know, he'll kick you and shit, but he's got no power. This dude has like zero power. I don't remember the last time this guy fucking knocked anybody out. I think he's got great stat for you guys. 17 UFC fights. 17 UFC fights.
No knockdowns. No
zero
knockdowns.
Fucking knockdowns. Unbelievable.
Yep. You're
How
right.
the fuck do you not have a knockout at 185? It's incredible.
Narco again, and that's why I fucking love listening to you, man, because I literally looked at that while going over tape for it, honestly, just a couple hours ago, and that was why I was like not gonna take the money line shot on him, because I'm like, you can't if you can't knock out Gregory Rodriguez, you can't beat him.
Yeah, so I don't think he's taking him down either. Like Rodriguez has very good takedown defense. Like he digs underhooks. He's very, very strong in the clinch. So I don't really see him. And honestly, if they're in the clinch, Rodriguez throws some nasty knees. I do like Jack in the clinch. I think Jack is pretty good in the clinch with his elbows and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's not going to be as strong as Gregory here in the clinch. So
not early.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
I just, the injuries, the layoff, the this, the that. I think this is a good spot for Gregory Rodriguez. And quite honestly, like he almost finished Cannonier, right? Like,
yeah,
it was close.
I had no idea about the surgeries. I had no idea why he hadn't fought Pfeiffer. Yeah, why he hadn't fought since Pfeiffer.
He had a very bad back injury, but the shoulder surgery kept him out for 12 months. It's got to be a really bad one because I had shoulder surgery. I was out for like 6 months. I was back in the gym. So, like, I don't know what fucking shoulder surgery he had that he's out for 12.
Okay, you want to know the lock of it all? You want to know why you don't want to know why Jack Hermanson's guaranteed to lose. He has been alternating wins and losses since the Jacare win. Every single time. Every single time.
So I bring to you the main card. Actually, this might not be main card. I'm sorry. But the parlay, the Brazilian parlay, Hobo Cop and Pantoja.
Oh, my God.
You're getting plus money. It's minus 218 and minus 238. They're on together. It's it. I just want two legs.
I don't mind it, actually.
Let's
honestly.
fucking go.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think it happens, fellas.
We're making Narco proud. Are you kidding me right now?
We're doing our best out here. So we're going to keep on rolling. Thank you guys so much in the live chat. Absolutely electric community. I'm trying to bring up the comments as we go. Trying to respect everyone's time here because we just want to get into it. I know you guys came to hear Narco.
That's the Beat the Bookie parlay of the week, right? Shout out to him.
Yeah. We're gonna make the bookies pay. Make the bookies pay. Parlay of the week is going to be Hobo Cop and Pantoja. And if you guys want to donate and sponsor this episode of Chronic Combat, we'll name another parlay after you as well. So in this next fight, or we'll call our underdog shot of the day for you, we've got our next matchup. We've got the Hurricane Hider Emil versus Jose Miguel Carlos Delgado from the Toronto Blue Jays himself. Very nicely done. Wow, look at this guy. We've got a second producer on our hands behind the scenes. The Guru is becoming self-aware like T1000. All right, so in this matchup, I think we made it. This right here is my dog of the day. Hider Emil plus I got plus 155, but plus 130, plus all. I don't see how you can't do it. I think Delgado is one of those guys that while he can get into a banger, he would prefer a pretty fight. And he might have slightly more technique. He might have a little bit of grappling and wrestling in his back pocket. I don't think he's ready for the Hurricane. And I don't think he's ready to be put on the back foot. And I don't think that he's going to be hitting any home runs in this matchup. So, Carlos, best of luck to you, buddy. But you should just go back to baseball in my book. Because I think Amil, he's going to give you a tour of the octagon here. In your first matchup, you fought, what, was it the controller, Connor Matthews? Come on, man. You got taken down 2 times by this jabroni? I'm sorry. That's all I needed to know. Haider Amil, in a guy that doesn't want to fight in William Gomi, he made him fight. And he did not like what he had to deal with in that matchup. Carlos Delgado, I don't think you're going to like what you see here either. So, Haider Amil, your TB's dog of the week.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. We got the plus money on him. We got the CLV. What do you get? Plus 150. So I think we're feeling pretty good in terms of that. I'm definitely just concerned, of course, that this guy, while seems to have like this granite chin, like he definitely leaves his chin up there to be hit. And Delgado's, if he's done anything in his career, it's finish people. He's 100% finish rate. So, you know what though? Yeah, I like it. I'm going to take my dog shot. I'm going to take my CLV. I think it makes sense. Gomi is probably, again, much better fighter than anybody that Delgado has fought. So let's give it a roll. Although that guy, Chris Mikate, is good. We'll see him soon, I would imagine, right? What do you think about something like that, Narco?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with TB. I like Haider Amil here. Like, the thing is, like, Haider Amil, when you get plus money on this guy, I think it's like a click against most people just because you know 100% confidence that this guy's going to go in there and he's going to fight for your money 100% of the time. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. Maybe he gets chinned and knocked out. Like, I haven't seen it yet, but like, he is going to fight for your money. He's going to throw an insane amount of strikes. He's going to try to grapple. He's going to just try to make it an absolute firefight in every one of his fights. You go back to the regionals, you go back anywhere. That's just how this guy fights. And the reason why I clicked him, that was one of the reasons. But the other reason, Jose Miguel Delgado, when I watched his tape and go back and watch Dana White Contender Series fight, when that kid from Contender Series decided to put his foot down and come forward and throw, Delgado did not look comfortable, man. He did not look fucking comfortable at all. And when I see other fights, when guys get aggressive with him, he doesn't look like the most comfortable guy. So if I see that in other fights, and I know Haider Amil is definitely going to make you uncomfortable, I mean, how could I not fucking bet him at plus money? Like, the guy's going to come forward. He's going to throw a shitload of strikes. And the other thing is, I think people are sleeping on Haider Amil can wrestle. And I think he can take down Delgado. We just saw him get taken down a couple of times in his last fight against Connor Matthews. And I don't think Connor Matthews is that good of a grappler. So, like, jiu-jitsu-wise, yes, probably Delgado is better. But wrestling-wise, I think Haider Amil is better. And, like, I just can't overlook the fact that that guy in Contender Series, if he doesn't gas out and he sticks with that pace, like, of coming forward and putting pressure on Delgado, I think he probably wins that fight. But he completely gassed. He started out really well in round 2, and then he started backpedaling. I have no idea what happened. And then when you backpedal and give Delgado the front foot, and he's long and he's big for the division, he's going to piece you up. So, yeah, I just don't see that from Amil. Amil's going to come forward. He's going to make it a nasty fight. And in a nasty fight, I will take Haider Amil any day of the week, dude. Like, this guy is just nasty. And, I mean, props to Gomis, man. I didn't think, how the hell did Gomis keep up with that pace? And he's still, Gomis did well. And to be honest, Gomis is a very good striker with very, very good footwork and very hard guy to grapple. So, like, when I looked at that fight, Gomis dealt with the pressure a lot better than what I think Delgado is going to deal with the pressure, in my opinion. And we get plus money. So, Yeah, I like Hyder Emil here, honestly. From what I've seen, I really like Hyder Emil in this spot. I don't think he should be the dog. If anything, I think he should be the favorite here.
Wow. I love that. We have 2.5 units at plus 150, Narco. So I love that. That makes me feel even better about it. He absolutely is a dog. So.
Oh, you listened to me the other day. I wasn't sure.
What do you mean?
I
told
you
you I
followed
bet
with
it.
me.
Yeah,
Okay,
I told you
I wasn't sure if you actually
I'm
went
totally
along.
on Hyder. No, I'm on Hyder. It makes sense.
All right, I'm
The
sorry.
Delgado did I know he kicked the shit out of Connor Matthews, but it wasn't an impressive from my memory. It was not an impressive fucking win. Like it didn't really mean much. And like you said, he got taken down twice. So I'm very happy to have my Hyder dog bet here.
Beautiful. The triumvirate of excellence.
I think
We're on to the next fight. What?
Very quickly. I do think it could be over could be interesting as well. Delgado has never been finished. Hyder Emil just went the distance in his last fight. We just said, Delgado's not
another
going to
guy
finish.
that hadn't been finished.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Against a guy that hadn't been finished.
I think the over here is also interesting, boys.
Very
I thought that was
interesting
worth
thoughts.
saying.
All right, we're moving on. We've got Vivi Araujo versus Tracy Glory to God Cortez. She's either got a tattoo or an Instagram post or something with that. So shout out to Tracy. We're doing our best here. She's also got a little bit of like Krusty the Clown vibes, depending how much makeup that day. But shout out to Tracy. I think we've seen an absolute evolution in her boxing game since like her UFC debut and regional scene to now. You see it show up in the Jasmine fight because she's a human punching bag. You don't see it as much in the Rose fight because I can't let you. I'm curious in this fight here, Vivi on paper, in her prime, I'm super interested at pulling the trigger on the dog shot. I don't think she has the gas tank to keep up with the pace that Cortez is going to want to put on. I think Cortez has gotten a little bit better at fighting off the back foot herself. I think Cortez is going to go do a better job of avoiding the damage on her end of things. I think she's going to be the faster fighter. And then I think she's got the wrestling and cage push and clinch and double leg takedown attempts and wear you out with the wrestling attempts. I don't think her grappling is elite. But there's an outside chance that Vivi just kind of breaks here. Neither fighter has been finished. We're seeing it over 2.5 at minus 720. That's not a TB mistake. Like, that's the actual price. So I'm as tempted as it gets to play an under in general without even taking a side. But at the end of the day, it's just throwing money in the toilet. I think Cortez wins. It's probably by decision. Round 3 finish could be absolutely hilarious. But I don't think it's the most likely thing. We'll see. What do you think here, Guru?
I'm really not very interested in this fight from any sort of perspective. I mean, Tracy Cortez is, I guess impressive in her own way. Her boxing is really not that terrible. I think at the end of the day, though, Viviane Araujo, even though she did just put on probably one of the best performances in her UFC career in her last fight, I'm just not sure that she's not outgunned in this spot, right? Like she very well could just be outpaced, outpressured, outworked in this spot. And that doesn't necessarily make me interested in her money line where I feel like you'd have to play it because to your point, TB, right? Like, do you actually expect Tracy Cortez to get a finish? Not necessarily. I think the round 3 sprinkle is going to be very, very juicy. So I think it could be worth a grandma's couch cushion, but I don't think it's actually something that's going to necessarily come through. So, yeah, no, not necessarily something I'm looking to bet on. Narco, please.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about violence and then we talked about this. This kind of doesn't belong on the card, but yeah, I mean, I can't get behind minus 250 Tracy, honestly. I really can't because our usual, she's competent everywhere. She's got power on the feet. She's a good grappler. Her main thing is like she's a front runner, right? Like she kind of gasses, but she looked good in her last fight, like against Karini Silva. And, I can venture to say that I think Karini Silva is probably stronger than a girl like Tracy Cortez. I mean, we know Karine Silva. She's big. She's strong. And, you know, our usual was doing well there. She out-grappled Silva in that fight. You know, she had 3 takedowns herself. And the one thing with Tracy Cortez, when I went back and watched the Gatto fight, she was getting taken down by Melissa Gatto quite a bit in that fight. So, you know, if it's standing, I mean, like, yeah, Cortez can probably throw more volume, but I think our usual has more power. And we saw Tracy Cortez got dropped by Rose Namajunas. We saw her get clipped by Justine Kish, out of all people. Like, is she really that? Like, okay, her best win, right, is obviously the win over Jazz Davicius, right? But that fight has nothing to do with this fight because Jazz Davicius needs to get you to the ground to win. And the one thing that Tracy's, you know, she's pretty good at defensive grappling, right? So if Jazz Davicius doesn't get you down, she's kind of screwed on the feet. And that's not the case with our usual. She's a better striker. She hits with power. Like I took our usual last fight at plus like 240, which was a great bet, obviously. I think she's the side again at plus 205. I really don't see why Tracy Cortez is minus 250. What has Tracy Cortez done to give us the minus 250? Why? Like, because she lost 4 rounds to Rose Namajunas? Like, is that like she went to split with Justine Kish? She fought close against Melissa Gatto. If Melissa Gatto doesn't like fall off the back and do all these stupid things, that's an L for, I can guarantee you that would have been an L for Cortez. So like, why? Why is she minus 250? Well, what has she proven to us to make her a minus 250? Is she like an elite striker? No. Is she an elite grappler? No. So why minus 250? Like, if you look at their careers, like our usual has faced a way better level of opposition too. Right?
Honestly, that's kind of how I was feeling originally, and I just kind of was like, you know what? Because like best case scenario, it's like Viviane Rouge winning a split decision, but I think she's absolutely live to. I feel like my rule of thumb is like if the fighter is north of minus 200, you have to predict them getting a finish. Otherwise, you really can't play the money line. And it's like Tracy Cortez is not getting a finish here. And her margins are thin. The way she wins fights are real. Like, it's a grimy decision where she's grappling heavy and, you know, doesn't really land much damage or necessarily a ton of volume. So,
but that's the other thing that you mentioned. Like, okay, grappling heavy, but like, who has she grappled heavy? Like that's the other thing. Like, okay, she had 2 takedowns against Rose, but Rose took her down 5 times. You know what I'm saying? It's like she got 2 takedowns against Gatto, but Gatto took her down 3 times. So it's like it's very bearish for me. Like she's grappled girls like Justine Kish and Vanessa Mello and Maria Agapova. Like they just suck. You know, like that doesn't mean anything to me. So I don't know. I'm not a big Tracy Cortez fan. I don't think she's very good. She's wearing eyelashes inside the ring. Like, how serious are you when you're wearing fake eyelashes in the ring and you get popped off by, you know, Rose Namajunas? She made her fly off during a fight. Like, why are you wearing that during a fight? Like, it's so weird. So, I don't know. I don't know if this girl is 100% into fighting, to be honest. I don't believe she is. And, you know, there's a lot of things to point to that. Like, she doesn't fight a lot, right? For a girl that's, how old is she? 28, maybe?
31 now.
31. Sorry. She's 31, guys. She's fighting 1 time a year, guys. 2021 once, 2022 once, 2023 once, 2024 once. Why? Like, it just, the only thing that makes sense is she doesn't really care about fighting. And when you're doing that kind of stuff, wearing fake eyelashes and shit inside the cage, I really don't think you're about that life. You're not. I'm not saying she's not a decent fighter.
I mean, I think you saw it with the cutting the hair and the crying and the too emotional for the spot, taking it all in.
Yeah.
She's crying on the walkout. You're right, Narco. She is not built for this life. And Araujo is. And I know that anybody holding a Tracy Cortez ticket, Tracy Cortez parlay, is going to be killing themselves when the Ron McCarthy scores at 29-28 for your winner by split decision. You know, it's just, yeah, gotta go Araujo if you're going to play this fight.
All right. Yeah, this is, I feel like a pass is in order, but if you got to do something, please don't let minus 250 on the Cortez side. That's all I ask of you. If there's one thing we gave you to take away from today. All right, we've got T-Rex, Terrence McKinney. He's got a big head and little arms versus Vyacheslav Borshev, plus 140, Slava Klaus. Are we going to see a T-Rex going on a rampage? Are we going to see a Slava Klaus doing the little Russian dance in the cage after the fight? These are the real questions and the ones that the people need answers to. I mean, I would say we've seen a significant dip in durability and striking defense of Borshev. Not that it was ever that great on the regional scene prior to his debut, but it seems like he's even having a little bit more trouble with it. I think that Borshev, he's shown the ability to scramble a bit better. And his big takeaway was you can wrestle this guy. You can wrestle this guy. And maybe that's what McKinney tries to do. But I think even if he's just on the feet and tries to blast them, and even if it's just for 5 minutes, he's going to come out and blast this guy in the first round. I don't think Slava is going to win round one in any universe. Now, when there's 4 minutes left in round one and Terrence McKinney hasn't gotten a finish at this juncture, well, at that point, if you see Slava at plus 300 or 400, by God, and if we're 3 minutes into the fight, 4 minutes into the fight, and he's still on bottom, but he's not dead yet, or if they're on the feet and he survived the onslaught and he's still running around, it's going to be at least 2.5 to 4 minutes of McKinney domination in my mind. So it's what happens if it doesn't end in that period of time. Well, then, yeah, you better be hedging with a live Borshev ticket if you started on McKinney. But maybe your idea is to just to pass. I think that taking the money line on Slava pre-fight is just a poor decision. So I'm curious where your guys' breakdowns take you, but I'm going Terrence McKinney in under 0.5 rounds. I think he gets it done in 2.5 minutes.
I feel just kind of better taking McKinney round one at plus 130. I believe I can find
That's
it at.
nice as well.
Yeah, I think that's just where I'm going to go because, I mean, I'm never going to forgive Slava Klaus or Keith Peterson for not giving me the round 2 KO versus Chase Hooper. And I'll never forgive myself for getting too greedy and not betting the sub as well. But, I mean, I wanted it so fucking bad. Ugh. He gets rocked in every freaking fight, man. I took Tom Nolan plus money versus Slava Klaus. I mean, Tom Nolan, respect to Tom Nolan. I'll buy you a beer, bro. But, you kind of fight like a bitch. I don't know. He doesn't really go for the violence there with him. And he's playing pitter-patter with a guy that is, again, has shown these durability concerns now time and time again throughout his fights. I mean, I said to his credit, he survives the Nazim Sadikov experience, but he did not survive it without damage and being rocked a lot. So Terrence McKinney should be able to get takedowns at will if he wants them. I think he should be able to hurt Slava Klaus and just kind of overwhelm him. And I think he gets it done round one. But if he doesn't, the Slava Klaus round 2 prop, definitely interesting. Narco?
Yeah, I mean, I will never bet Terrence McKinney, man. I can't bet this guy. I really can't. It's hard, guys. I think long term, if you bet on guys like Terrence McKinney, you're gonna lose your ass in MMA. It's just because the guy has no cardio, man. He falls off a cliff after 5 minutes. It's insane. And you guys are accurate with Slava. He gets hurt in a lot of fights. Obviously, Chase Hooper dropped him. A bunch of these fights, Dakota Bush hurt him, fucking Chris Duncan hurt him, Kenley St. Louis dropped him in the regionals. All of these guys hurt him. Even William Starks hurt him in that fight. But there's one thing with his chin But then there's the other thing with this guy can recover like a motherfucker. It's insane. The beating he took from Chase Hooper on bottom was fucking incredible. The beating he took. Did you guys see the head kick that Nazim landed on him? Flush head kick. It's trying to drop anybody, but it didn't finish him. And he kept fighting. And guess what?
We were there live.
We
were there live.
Yeah, and you won round 3 in that fucking fight against a very good fighter, Nazim, who's known to have great cardio. So, like, everybody's writing him off now. And I disagree. Like, I'm not going to play Slava. Like TB said, why would I play him pre-flop when I'm pretty sure I can get plus 250, 300 in round 1 at some point? I think Terrence McKinney, if he's to finish, I think it's maybe an RNC. But this guy Slava's been in so many fucking bad spots with submissions. And even though the Chase Hooper fight, he never tapped. He did not tap there, and he was not out. And the ref stopped it, and he was so pissed. He's like, I didn't tap, dude. Why did you stop the fight? So if you watch him, I would say that Chase Hooper is a way better submission grappler than McKinney. I would say that Mike Davis is a better submission grappler than McKinney. Mike Davis is very high level on the ground. He's faced a lot of guys that are very good on the ground, and they really haven't submitted him. He gets out of very bad positions. And the one thing with Terrence McKinney is if he goes for these submissions and goes hectic, what's going to happen when he doesn't get them? We all know. He's going to gas the hell out, right? And Slava has extremely good cardio. He will fight for 3 rounds like hell. So, like, I just can't bet McKinney, dude. Like, I cannot bet this guy, especially against a guy. It's not that Slava's very durable. He's very resilient. And I don't want to bet Terrence McKinney against a resilient guy that will fight out of bad positions and not give up, which would make Terrence McKinney gas out if he doesn't finish. So that's how I see it. Yes, Terrence McKinney's more explosive. He is, longer. He's stronger. But he has fucking the worst gas tank in the UFC. So I cannot bet the guy. I've seen him, and the other thing with Terrence McKinney is like his recent wins. I mean, they've been awful. Damir Hadzovic, awful. Brandon Moret. I don't even think that guy, I don't even know if that punch landed somehow. And the guy went down and it was so weird. Mike Breeden, like his wins have been Eric Gonzalez. These wins have been horrific. His last 4 wins. The last win that was a good one was obviously Fares Ziam 3 years ago. That was a very good win back then. But after that, guys, he's 4-4, and his 4 wins are against the absolute worst people in the division. Guys that are not even in the UFC anymore. So I trust, honestly, at these pricing, I trust Slava more that I know this guy is going to keep on fighting, and I know he has good cardio. So, like, I'd rather bet the plus 140 here than the minus 160. That's basically where I'm getting at. I don't have a bet on Slava, but I rather bet 140 and knowing that this guy will probably be there for 3 rounds. The other guy I know won't be there for 3 rounds. So
Terrence McKinney in under 0.5 rounds plus 300. That's the only thing I would ever consider.
It's not good enough.
that's a terrible line, dude. Don't
yeah, it's bad.
Horrible. Under half, only plus 300.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
It's not good.
He's not going to win. Narco makes too many good points. He's not going to do it.
He could.
Who does he beat?
I don't want to say he can't win, but like, I can't trust the guy. Is basically.
I mean, Damir Hadzovic, Brendan Moreau, Mike Breeden, Eric Gonzalez. The best win by far is, the Fares Ziam and Matt Frivola, but that's like lightning in a bottle before anybody knows not to trade with this guy.
Exactly. I mean, he's dangerous early. Don't get me wrong. First 2.5 minutes, he's super dangerous. But like, dude, the guy falls off a cliff.
He's the definition of it. It's like it's pulling a Terrence McKinney. I don't know if there's anybody else that does it like he does.
His name, it's Makwan Amirkhani. That's the answer.
But that's 5.5 minutes. It's always the same. as soon as round 2 starts, he's dead. But this is worse.
Fair enough. All right, we've got Nico the hybrid price, a juicy plus 1100. We've got Jacoby Kobe Smith, terrible nickname, man. That's not even mine. Minus 2100. You've disappointed us all with your nickname. Don't disappoint us with your performance in this fight. Look like a minus 2100. Finish Nico Price in the first round, or I don't know. We got to look again. Let's see. What's the under 0.5 rounds?
No.
Because for you to justify a minus 2100, that's the type of thing that you have to do. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass on this fight. I'm not going to take Jacoby Smith and under 0.5 at plus 215.
That's even
It's even worse. It's even worse.
Parlay them both together. Narco would love that.
It's like on the off chance it hits. I mean, that'd be
so
hilarious,
dumb.
but,
No,
oh my god,
the odds
terrible.
are so bad. Yeah, this fight's fucking crazy. Nico Price, yes, he died. Absolutely got murdered by Robbie Lawler. He has no durability. He should lose here. But I mean, you could watch what I think TBU called it really well while we were talking about this fight. I mean, this could just be the from last week or 2 weeks ago. What was
Co. Oh no, I'm not sorry, not Co. What's his name?
Manser. A guy that you could Manser Brundage, right? Like you're supposed to kill this guy, and you just go in there and take your time. Why couldn't Jacoby Smith do that? Obviously, totally different style fighters, but maybe he just wants some ring time, gives Nico Price a little bit more respect than the betting market does, and it just sails over for no reason. Even just over one round at probably plus money. I don't know. Probably stupid, but like I said, nothing really interests me otherwise. Narco, is he smashing this in round one?
Yeah, he's gonna smash him. Jacoby Smith hits very hard on the feet. Like he put out Preston Parsons out cold, and Parsons is a tough guy. He's not
never
like
been knocked out.
Yeah, he's very, very tough. Jacoby Smith is just very violent, man. We had that Mansour Malik guy that was, pretty violent last week, and he didn't do shit against Cody Brundage. But he's more like that guy. Mansour Malik is more kind of like timid in the beginning. He's trying to catch you with shots. Jacoby Smith is just absolutely coming to kill you early. Like he's throwing big shots. If he doesn't land them, he's going into a big takedown. And then his ground and pound is fucking nasty, dude. Like extremely nasty ground and pound. He wants to put your face through the canvas. Nasty elbows, very, very heavy on top. D1 wrestler at Oklahoma State. And I'm telling you, this guy's hands are getting better. He's getting better with his striking. He's a little wild with his defense because I think he tends to overextend with his shots and gets a little bit wide. But my God, he has power, dude. Like he has a ton of power in his punches. And even Nico Price, you watch fucking Themba last fight. He rocked him 2 different times on the feet. Themba doesn't really have power. And then he took him down near the end of round 1, and he almost finished him with ground and pound. And we know Themba has like shit for ground and pound. Like he doesn't really have ground and pound. Nico Price is completely shot, guys. Like this guy is just shot. And they put him in against a young, hungry lion that's absolutely going to fucking destroy him. And I have no doubt in my mind that Jacoby Smith's going to finish this guy early, very early. What is Jacoby Smith and under half a round? Now tell me that one.
Plus 215. It's even worse.
Not good enough.
But if you put it with McKinney, you get plus 1160.
Yeah, that's a different type of thought. But
yeah.
I think Jacoby Smith kills him. I mean, there's nothing else to say here. I think he's a good prospect, very good prospect, and he's getting better.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. All right, we're moving on. We've got Jonata D's Nuts Denise versus Alvin Goozy Hines. Where does Goozy come from? I don't know why that's his nickname. It's not a TV nickname.
D's Nuts is a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I put a lot of thought.
No, we've had that one already, but it's
good.
I
know. And then that's why I came back, because it's a banger. It's not quite Big Meal Shamil.
No.
It's not quite the Rizlavan Kuniev.
Nope.
But yeah, it's
we're getting
Jonata D's Nuts. And in this fight, I think Alvin's going to get a big taste of these nuts all over his face as he's getting ground and pounded and knocked unconscious. Yeah, I truly think that this guy is like, while he shows the right type of idea with his like striking mechanics and his takedown attempts, he's clearly outclassed from a technical perspective on the feet. And I think if he tries to close the distance to get to any type of like wrestling, clinch, grappling range, I don't think it ends well for him. I think it's a knockout at some point for Denise here. I think we get violence, but at minus 325, and Denise has let us down before with grapplers. So
he has 6 round 1 knockouts, my friend, of his 7.
So throw him, round 1 knockout.
That's
for
what
Denise,
I said.
And round 1 knockout for Jacoby. You don't even need the Terrence McKinney one. You could do that too if you wanted to. I already have the other 2 in there. So let's tell you what that looks like, right? You want round 1 knockout or under 0.5?
What?
Round 1 knockout for Denise is plus 200. That's probably good enough to play alone, given that he's done it plenty of times.
Yes, that's a great line.
Yeah, but we'll see. I think, realistically,
if you're doing that parlay, by the way, you also need to stupidly add McKinney in there as well. Because
hey, ¿cómo está? Muchas gracias.
Exactly.
Vámonos.
Exactly. I love it. Guzzi Hines does not move his head. Guzzi Hines he's 33, but he fights like he's 65, and he's got he cannot fucking move. He's like the Tin Man. He fights like he's stuck in mud. It's honestly hilarious. I always love hearing Narco talk about regional tape, so I'm excited to hear it. Guy is fucking hilarious. I don't know how he's 7-0. It's just really, really funny. He's a brawler. I don't know how he hasn't gotten knocked out. The fights he was fighting were honestly hilarious to watch. The Billy Ray, I think I can only really find 2. It was the Billy Ray Valdez fight and the Taylor Escamilla fight, which is hilarious as well. So, yeah, I don't like Guzzi Hines. I'm going to go with Denise, but nothing on God's green earth would be funnier than watching Alvin Hines shoot a barrel double leg takedown and somehow laying on top of Denise and winning this fight. It'd be so funny.
Well, why would that surprise you when we saw Austin Lane already do it to this guy?
Austin Lane is huge, though.
That's my only.
But Austin
he played defensive end, sacking the quarterback. That was the only thing.
But Alvin Hines actually has a grappling background. He's got a wrestling background. He's with Thomas Peterson. They wrestle a lot.
Thomas Jefferson Peterson. I didn't know that guy can fucking wrestle though.
Thomas Peterson's a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's good.
Very good. His single legs are good. But I feel like everybody in the world, and I'm not kidding, guys. Every take I've heard is Jonato Denise round 1 KO. It's it feels like it's almost mushed at this point. Everybody's on that. The thing with Alvin Hines is, you said it, he moves so slow. He's very wild when he's throwing. He's slow. He gets hit a lot. But let's talk about the good stuff he has, right? He's fucking tough as hell. There's no doubt in my mind. This guy is super tough. His cardio is very, very good for heavyweight. He brings a pretty high pace for heavyweight. He throws a lot of volume, a lot of kicks, a lot of punches. And then he'll mix in takedowns. That's the thing with this guy. And when I go to the Phil Latu fight, which is, I think that's probably his best win, Philip Latu, the guy that fought on Dana White's Contender Series, right? You know what he did in that fight? And Phil Latu, by the way, is a Muay Thai striker. He's a kickboxer like Denise, right? You know what he did in that fight, guys? Immediately shot for a takedown. There's no fucking waiting. Pushed him, cage push, takedown. Latu got back up. He swung some punches right back to the takedown. It was rinse and repeat nonstop until he finished him. So it's I don't think he's going to stand with Denise, guys. I know he's done it with these other guys, but he knows who's in front of him. And it's not like Billy Ray Valdez or some of these other fucking guys, right? He's not going to probably not going to stand and trade with Denise. He's going to go for a takedown. And honestly, I don't really like Denise's take. Like, once he gets flattened out on the ground, I don't like it. He's no bueno. And Alvin Hines seems pretty fucking strong on top, man. Like, I know people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I think people are discounting Alvin Hines' chance in this fight because I don't rate Denise that high. I really don't. I think he's a good striker, but I also think his defense is very bad on the feet. He gets hit a lot. I mean, go back and watch the Contender Series fight against Eduardo Neves. His head was getting snapped back like a ping pong. Like, it was like they were playing ping pong with it. And then eventually he caught him. But I don't think the guy's very good defensively. He's not very fast himself. And then the other fight that I kind of a red flag for him, Carl Williams did not shoot a single fucking takedown in the fight until round 3. And in round 3, he got the takedown and he was on top and just pounding away on him. So what would happen if Carl Williams decided to wrestle in round 1? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was the weirdest game plan from fucking Carl Williams. No, don't shoot any takedowns. None. But I'm a wrestler and let me stand with Renato Diniz the whole fight. So, like, and then we see the last fight, he absolutely got murdered from ground and pound against Tybura. And Tybura is he's a good grappler, but I don't really rate his wrestling. Is Tybura's wrestling that good? No. But he's a very good guy that's on top. So I don't know, man. Like, I think people are discounting Alvin Hines a little too much. Yes, he's a bot. Yes, he can definitely get knocked out here. He's a terrible striker. But he's very, very tough from what I've seen. And he has very good cardio for a heavyweight. So I would not discount him. I would not discount him here. Yes, again, I do favor Deniz, more experience in the UFC, way better striker. But I wouldn't be shocked if Alvin Hines took him down and did work on him. So that's where I'm at.
You know, I'm not going to get in the way of the Guzzi train this week. I'm going to stay safe.
I don't know. Nothing would, again, like he doesn't really have much. Neither of them have much experience going to the decision, but something tells me that Deniz could pull it out if it were to go to decision. So I think Guzzi Hines would get way too tired, especially from all the grappling, whereas each round is going to start on the feet. But I think Narco's absolutely right in that, like, it's just become this foregone conclusion that it's this round 1 knockout, and all of a sudden we're all going to be very salty. So.
Oh my God. So can I just tell you how hilarious this is? So the fact of the matter is the original matchup is Vitor Petrino making his heavyweight debut at this card against Deniz. So then Deniz is supposed to fight some other Jamoka, and then now steps in Alvin Hines as the third option.
He's supposed to fight in Justin Tafa.
Yes, that was the second option. So the original option was Vitor Petrino. This was
Narco's
UFC
got some
313.
information.
Good point.
Bilateral.
I forgot to say this. You guys brought it up. The other thing you have to think about is Deniz has done this whole fucking training camp for 2 strikers.
Yeah.
Tafa and Petrino, right? These guys strike. Now he's got to fucking worry about a guy that's going to go for fucking takedown after takedown. So it's he didn't train for this, honestly. He did not. He probably didn't do a lot of fucking grappling in this camp.
Yeah.
Because Alvin Hines just took the fight. Like, when was it? Like a week ago? Week and a half ago?
Yeah.
Next. And you know, Deniz has to fly all the way here. He doesn't train in the U.S., so yeah, I think that matters too.
Bilateral tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis is why Vitor Petrino pulled out of his fight because he needed to take 3 weeks off a trip. That's soft, man. If you're going into an MMA fight,
he was literally jerking off too much.
Tennis elbow, literally tennis elbows.
We gotta talk to Tim. We gotta talk to Tim about that.
Oh God, yeah, please. That could be the lotion fight for Tim. Maybe. He's thinking about how Vitor Petrino got bilateral tennis elbow. It's very prevalent. So
I'm thinking about. I mean, what's the better nickname matchup? This fight or the next one?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a great setup. So, all right, great. Maybe we don't get too invested here. We've got Chris El Tanky Ewert versus Jackson the Moose McVeigh. Electric. They're doing a great job out here. I mean, this guy's literally shaped like a tank.
I mean, hear me out. I don't know why McVeigh is such a dog. Like, I think he's like the more dangerous striker. He's like a long, rangy guy. And yeah, I mean, I don't think his level of competition is necessarily the best, but I don't think Ewert's level of competition is very great either. I mean, Ewert has, really is like very willing to kind of push into the clinch and against the cage. And I think that's where Jackson McVeigh is like the most dangerous. So I kind of just think that like it sizable plus money, like I think it was kind of worth it. I feel like the line's getting closer. So I may have to act sooner rather than later. But not only have these guys never been finished, but these guys have never lost. So, and they both have a ton of round one finishes. Literally all of Jackson McVeigh's wins are by round one finish, and all of them except for one in his last fight was two fights actually for Ewert. Yeah, it does sound a little Chilean. So yeah, no, I like the dog here, and I'm not exactly sure why the line is what it is, especially since Ewert's taking the fight on even shorter notice.
There's two things. It's either this fight ends in round one, or they both gas out, and we have a protracted fight goes the distance. I think, to your point, man, McVeigh, the bigger guy, I think he's going to control the clinch. He would have killed Dumas.
I feel so bad for anybody with a ticket.
Yeah, it was me. That was me.
Not you, though. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for you, though. Anybody else?
I hate you. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I agree with you. I would be on the McVeigh dog money, but it's probably smarter to just pass. But also, round one could be super interesting. I think.
But it also could be super cooked.
It could be super cooked. So that's where I'm like, I think it's round one, or I think we're getting a fight goes. So I know that's a lot of divergence.
I think I like over in this spot.
Okay.
But because I think if there's a finish, I think Jackson gets him.
6'4", 77 versus 6'75". McVeigh has fought more recently, and you were like, this picture here is what he looks like coming into this fight.
He's also the southpaw.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Ewert's in his best shape, or McVeigh. I think he's still going to be. I got to see these guys on the scales. Yeah, that's going to be another big factor to make sure that they're ready to go. Like who's in a better spot to compete this week? Narco, anything you got here?
Yeah, I know both of. Well, I don't know much about McVeigh. I know Chris Ewert pretty well from the regionals, from Fury. I've watched him. I kind of feel like he has a Chilean, he's saying, but I feel like he has like some American Indian in him. I'm not sure, but
Ewert is from Chile.
I know he's from Chile. I feel like he has some American Indian in him. I don't know why.
He looks like
yeah, right. Yeah.
But like, the one thing you mentioned is I disagree. TB is it's Ewert has elite cardio. He's got fucking very good cardio. Like I've seen him go 3 hard rounds against Goose and against Jimmy Pace Jr. He went 3 very hard rounds against both guys and looked very good in round 3. So both those wins are actually good. Jimmy Pace Jr. is not a bad fighter. Heavy wrestler, very strong. It's a good win. It's a good win. And then Reese Watkins, I think he's from Syndicate or Extreme Couture. I forgot where, but he's not bad himself. He's a young guy. He's got good striking. He's pretty strong, good wrestler. And Ewert just looked good. Like he's got good kicks. He's got very good cardio. I really like, for the most part, his get-up game has looked good. The only fight that his get-up game did not look good was against AJ Chambers 2 fights ago. He was on his back. He didn't look really good. He got mounted. But he eventually got out. He's a dog. I will tell you, he's an absolute dog. He's very, very tough. He takes big shots easily. Like he doesn't get hurt. Jackson McVeigh, on the other hand, like I think you made some good points. He's long, very, very good knees in the clinch and good elbows. He's actually a 3-stripe brown belt too. He's good on the ground. He's got very good chokes. He's been grappling for like 12 years, he said. So the kid has got chops on the ground. Like he's got good jiu-jitsu, but I don't think his wrestling is great. From what I've seen, almost all of his takedowns are like body locks into side takedowns, which I don't think that's going to work very well against Ewert. And Ewert's going to pop back up. He pops back up very, very fast. Like, it's like he's going, like you're taking him down in lava or something. The guy can't fucking touch the ground, and he's right back up. So the problem with McVeigh for me is the one fight that I watched where I believe it was, let me go back. It was the DeMarcus Griffin fight in his amateur fight. It was 3-minute rounds. End of round 1, he was getting battered on bottom by this Griffin guy. Absolutely fucking battered. And the way he got up, he looked like fucking exhausted. It didn't look really good once he got up. He did come out, to his credit, and get a finish off of bottom. Like he got a triangle choke off bottom. But something tells me that this guy's cardio is not very good. Like, it's just that one spot. His cardio didn't look great. He's got all these first-round finishes that total less than 8 minutes of fucking cage time in his pro record. I know this other guy, Ewert, is tough as shit, and he can go 15. Like, I can't. I wanted to bet McVeigh, but I think if I bet McVeigh, I probably would play a sub prop on him. I think he's like sub or bust, in my opinion. I don't think he can knock out Ewert, because Ewert seems to very, very tough to me. And I think where he could potentially finish him is a sub, which I think he's the better grappler, like as far as jiu-jitsu. So, and I think Ewert is a blue belt, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not really good on the ground. He just has good get-up game, and his takedown defense is pretty good. Also, Ewert is good in a clinch himself. He throws a lot of knees. He's pretty damn good in a clinch. So it's an interesting fight just because it's two short notice guys. McVeigh was going to absolutely murder Dumas. You guys are right. But I lean Ewert here. And I also agree with Guru. I think over 1.5, because I don't think Ewert is a huge finisher either. Like, even if the fight extends, Ewert is not really one of those guys. Like, he gas pedals people, but he's not like huge power or anything, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Dude, thanks so much for all that kind words too, man, because we work hard on these breakdowns, man. We've been doing this for a long time now at this point. Not nearly as long as you, but we've been doing the podcast. This is episode 187 for us, doing it for about 5 years now, every card. So it's really just trying to get better. And again, your Lambo Plays show has definitely inspired us to continue to like just step up our game and how we break down the fights, try to make some money.
Oh, yeah. And thank you so much to everybody who joined us tonight. Electric show. Narco, top of the list for those things. Coming from awesome kickboxing and running over, ready to join the boys, giving it an absolutely stellar performance on the show today. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you coming out for like the biggest card of the year and making it you just brought the heat right there with us. And thanks so much to everyone in the chat. Same deal, man. Share it out there. Liam, thank you so much, too, for sharing the content. Everyone else who has retweeted, commented today, if you've donated in the past, if you've subscribed to the channel, you're a big part of the community and why we do this every week. But truly, me and the Guru, we're boys. We watch the fights together every opportunity we possibly can. And that's the beautiful thing, man, is like watching fights, hanging with your people, and placing some bets. It doesn't get any better than that. So you'll be catching us every week, Thursday, whatever time necessary, we're going to do it because we got to bring the goods to the people. So Narco, before we let the Guru do the proper outro, you got anything to say to the people?
No, brother. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the kind comments. You guys got to keep it up. You guys are doing great. Appreciate you guys having me. If anybody wants to follow me, it's Narco Cop on Twitter, Narco Cop MMA YouTube channel, and I have my Lambo Plays podcast tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. I also do a show on Twitter Spaces on Saturday before the fight card. the final bell if you guys want to join there. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Seriously, Narco, thank you again so much for joining us. We are off next week. It is July 4th weekend. There is no UFC fights. We will be missing you dearly. I will be celebrating my birthday.
Happy birthday to the boy.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Me and America celebrating it together. But honestly, when we come back, UFC Nashville, Derek Lewis versus Taliesin Teixeira should be a banger of a fight. Honestly, I'm thinking, TB, we might have to move that breakdown if we can, maybe to Wednesday night late, because I'm going to be in Mexico, and I doubt I'm going to want to do a podcast from Mexico. So, seriously, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you're following Narco Cop. Make sure you're following TB Scouting MMA over on Twitter, Pickett, Instagram, Tapology, and BetMMA. And you can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Pickett, Verdict, Instagram, Tapology, and BetMMA. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Be safe out there. Happy birthday, man.